Greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. Thought I'd make a little video today. We're having our annual winter camp that we might be calling Camp McMurdo, but there again the weather's actually a bit contrary to that now. But I'm here with Damon and Jane.
Hello.
You know Damon, you know Jane hopefully from the Hedge combers, and she's here in Myrtle, a little camper van there. Obviously Damon's in Nina and I'm here in Guinevere, and we thought this weather's so nice we're going to go for a little walk and have a little look around. So we're going to go off and do that, and I'll have a little chat with you later. That's gorgeous. Look at those colours.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's just such a nice place, and it's so quiet as well. So we're just having a little wander around this little trail.
Sculpture trail.
The sculpture trail, yeah. Got a little plaque thing here. It's quite small. It's not a big thing. Jane is trying out the Canon M50, which is, she's borrowed Damon's one, but I think you're looking at getting one yourself, aren't you?
Yeah. You kick. What can you say?
Yeah.
It's exciting, doesn't it?
The Canon M50 is just the best camera I've ever owned. It's so good, and it's just that you can do video on it, and it's got that eye tracking, so even while you're making video, you just get pin sharp tracking on it all the time, and shallow depth of field. It's awesome. These colours though, it's just, it's like an oil painting.
Contrast with the dark grass, with the
Yeah.
and everything. Oh.
This whole place is like I'm walking through an oil painting. That's
Like
just
an episode of Merlin.
yeah. Well, especially the fact that there's mist. If you look into the distance there, down towards Dursley there, there's a mist hanging over everything. These colours are insane, aren't they? So, how have you been? Apologies once again for not making many videos lately. I've been enjoying my little sabbatical of not feeling obliged to make videos, and I've been perhaps enjoying it a little bit too much, but that's okay. I think it's more important to make videos, you know, when something interesting is happening, and at the moment not a huge amount is happening in my world that's worthy of making videos on. So we're staying up at Ashen Plains, which is a sort of place we like to come to sort of once a year, and Jane comes all the way up from Cornwall, and she's about 4 hours away. I think Damon's about 40 minutes away, and I'm about an hour and a bit away. It's a really great little campsite here, because if you're camping on a campsite and it's like, you know, November, it's normally freezing cold, so it's really nice to use this site simply because it's got that communal room. It's like a converted barn, and they got a nice roaring fire in there, and we've got quite a spread. We were expecting 6 of us. Unfortunately 3 people had to drop out, so it was back down to 3 of us again, which was exactly the same last year. When we did this last year we were expecting a bunch of us, and some dropped out, so it was just literally me, Damon and Jane, and it's me, Damon and Jane again this year. But we bought loads of food this time, so we got like a little buffet table with lots and lots of goodies on, and all but things that are really bad for you and you shouldn't really be eating. But we thought, just kind of throw caution to the wind this weekend, and I'm just going to eat whatever takes me fancy and worry about it next week, pay the consequences next week. But I must admit I've been overdoing it a bit on foods that are not necessarily that good for me. I think A lot of that is to do with the winter. As the winter changes, I sort of go into this hibernation mode and want to eat lots of comfort foods and sugary things, and you know, things that make you fat basically. But I don't care. I seem to go in these phases, you know. Sort of I'll go through eating a load of rubbish, and then generally when I eat rubbish foods I feel a bit rubbish after a while, and then you put up with it for a while, and then you think, right, okay, I'm going to start behaving myself and eat cleanly, and then I do that for a while, and it's just kind of this wave that I've learned to ride, you know. But here we are at camp. Now the great thing about this place is you've got the hall right there. We camp on the hard standing. I mean, we could camp on the field, but it's obviously wet and muddy. But at least if we camp on the hard standing here, you've got no worries in regard to you know, getting wet feet all the time. Oh, this is new on Janie. I don't think I've seen that before. So yeah, Janie's got a channel on YouTube called the Hedge, and she does a lot of one pot camper van recipes. She actually films it in Myrtle. She's got a TV show coming up as well. She's filmed all that, and it's going to go out, I'm not sure when, but it'll be I'm sort of guessing probably early next year. So that's all exciting. But there's more exciting things happening in Jane's life, which I'm sure she'll talk about on her channel. And I do recommend going to her channel because it's one of the better ones on YouTube. There are some good channels on YouTube, and there are some great channels on YouTube. And one of the ones I recommend is Jane's. Her videos are just really easily digestible. They're really nice to watch. And actually, another channel I've been watching a lot lately is my good YouTube buddy Steve, from Steve's Kitchen. He's basically been out on the road for about 4+ years now, and at the moment he's in China, and he's just wandering around China with his wife Michelle, and they're just the videos that they're producing is absolutely fascinating. I'm really getting a look at what life in real China is like, because he doesn't go to the touristy places. He actually goes to you know, the non-touristy places off the beaten track, and he actually, you know, eats in the restaurants and the places where food, because he's very much food oriented, because the channel used to be called Steve's Kitchen. It's just now called Steve Owens, because it's not necessarily him in the kitchen anymore, but he's doing a lot of culinary reviews on a lot of the foods he's having, but he's having these foods in the places where the ordinary everyday people would eat as well, rather than the sort of touristy places. And it's a real eye-opener. It's a real insight into sort of how people live in these faraway lands. And so that's another channel I do recommend if you haven't checked out his channel. They're just, again, really easily digestible videos, really good to watch, really quite educational as well. But just what I tend to do is have a little binge watches. I'll basically wait for him to put sort of 2 or 3 videos out, and then I'll sit down and just spend an evening watching them, and you know, get the popcorn out, or sort of a nice beverage, and just really enjoy sort of like this armchair traveling, almost like traveling vicariously through sort of his experiences and Michelle's experiences. But there we go. Now, you may or may not be following me on Facebook. If you have, then you'll know I've been having some problems with Guinevere. Now, I was driving around a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed she just wasn't as nippy as she normally is. She's quite a nippy van. It's quite, you know, you put your foot just down a little bit on the throttle and it's quite punchy. And I noticed that the other day I was driving around and it had lost power, and I put my foot down, and it was like there was this real reluctance to pick up speed. And I thought, oh, something's not quite right here. Now, I've sort of had her for over a year now, so I thought, right, it's supposed to be 2 years between services, but I thought, right, I better book it in with Renault, and they can do a service while they've got her and have an investigation and just see what's going on. Anyway, later that day, I got a phone call from Renault, And they said, well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is you're not due a service until like next year, so we won't do the service yet. You know, you've got plenty of time to go. The bad news is you've got rodent damage. And they sent me some photographs, and basically there's a load of wires underneath the van that have been chewed through, and they were all happened to be like right near the exhaust pipe. So at some point some rodents had run along my exhaust pipe and started chewing on the wires. And it wasn't just a case of chewing through wires. What they were doing were chewing through wires at, like, flush to sensors. So there's a bunch of sensors underneath the van, and they'd chewed off the wires flush to the sensors, so they couldn't even reattach them. So I had to buy new sensors. So in the end, they fixed it all. It cost me £629 to get her fixed, because they couldn't do it on the warranty because it was rodent damage. But that was very unfortunate. Now the thing is, I'm really paranoid about parking it outside my house now, but nearby there was a car that had been parked there for like months. And it had a big notice on the windscreen that it was going to be towed away. And I've got a feeling that because it had been parked there for so long, I think a bunch of mice or whatever had moved in. But fortunately that car's been taken away now, so I'm kind of hoping that it's problem solved. I also have a bunch of mouse traps stuck down in various places. I've also sprayed all of the wires over with this special rodent repellent that's specifically designed to prevent mice. If the mice chew on the wire, they get this horrible taste and it puts them off. So hopefully, I've had to crawl around under the van, spray it on all the wires under the van and all on the exposed wires around the engine bay and everything. And touch wood, so far, there's been no other sign of them, so I think I'm over that problem now. Anyway, let me show you inside the hut here. We were going to have a bit of a spread. Obviously we were expecting 6, so I bought loads of extra, but it's down to 3 of us. And but we've got what we got. We've got poppadoms and mango chutney. We got all sorts of Pringle type things. Breadsticks. I've got loads of dips in the fridge. I think I might have overdone it on the on the relishes. Pickles. Jane's bought some homemade mincemeat. We got some Indian vegetable selection for later today. Lots of rolls. I bought lots of burgers and things with me. Quavers and Kit Kats and all things that are really bad for you. But it's okay because I've gone for some celery sticks, although I think these are a bit rubbery now. I've got some fresh ones in the fridge. More chocolate biscuits. Just really stuff that's really bad for you. Also, got a new coffee maker. The AeroPress was great, but it was a lot of faffing around having to grind up your coffee. So I thought, just for camping, I'm going to start using this, which is an espresso maker, and you use the little pods. You put a pod in, press the button, and it just chucks out a little espresso, and then you can top it up with water. And talking of which, I'm going to put the kettle. I need some water. I'm going to put the kettle on top of the fireplace. Oh, I think it's gone out. Has it gone out? Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's still going. Right. Let's get a couple of logs in there. So, what we'll do... Oops, we'll get that fired up. We'll open up the vents a bit. Give that a minute and that'll start roaring. And I need to go and get some water in the kettle. And it just keeps the kettle hot all the time, which is great. Now you may have noticed Damon's got his green screen here. We're going to do a photo later. I can't reveal what that's going to be, but it'll be my like a little Christmas cardy photo that I'm going to do, which should be hopefully slightly humorous. Right then, we're having a little bit of a Christmas nosh up.
It's the YouTubers Christmas party.
Yeah.
Yay!
See, Damon's got a double cheeseburger going on there with your corn cheeseburger. Me and Janie we're gonna have real meat, but we've got the baps prepared, and we're just gonna have a burger. But we were limited on space, so we got 2 that are nearly ready and 2 that are going to be a while. So I can do Jane's now, actually. So, cool. This is the first time I filmed on this phone, but it's very stable. It's quite a stable footage, which is good. Yeah, and it got a wide angle on them as well, which is nice. So, but yeah, we'll do some green screen photos later as well. And yeah, okay.
Right. Ready?
Yeah.
That went well, people. That went really well. I think we like that last photo where you had the dodgy smile on it. That's working really well for us, isn't it, Damon?
Yeah.
So here's Janie doing some filming for her channel, and this is like B-roll footage of you doing a mince pie, a giant mince pie at that rate.
It is huge, isn't it? And this is the mincemeat that I made last week, and oh my gosh, if only you lot could smell it.
Smells so nice.
So good.
Oh.
You can find the recipe on my blog, hedgecombers.com, you know. But I've also chucked hazelnuts in this one, which you've got all these lovely lumps of hazelnut in there. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh, very festive.
Very festive and very tasty.
Very seasonal as well.
So I'm now about to go and chuck this into Damon's oven in Nina. Yes. Please come and put this in your oven.
What's that?
That's pudding. It's mince pie.
What's that?
Oh, I've actually got to do all the work.
Make that.
Yeah. Just made the pastry and everything. I made it courtesy of Morrison's, but don't tell anyone. You're so posh having an oven in your van.
So glazed.
I knew that. I might just sit here for a while. That's lovely and toasty. Awesome. 30 minutes, I'll go set timer.
That, I should have filmed you.
Oh, sorry, yes. I did actually make
out.
that. I didn't make this, I bought that too, because I'm camping.
Yeah. That smells so good. It really does.
Are we eating now then?
I don't know. Well, you've got to eat it while it's warm, haven't you?
I'm overly hungry at the moment.
Are you not? What a surprise. All we've done is eat for the last 24 hours. We're all sick. It's just if we don't cook those, they're going in the bin.
Yeah, no, we'll cook them later. We can have
Should I turn the oven off?
Can we cook them up and have them cold? Or
That's what I was thinking.
yeah. One of the
Will
ovens
you eat
on.
something like that,
Might as
Sis?
well just cook them up and then have them cold.
Or you can take them home if you'd rather. We're only cooking them because
we're
they...
not taking rubbish home.
Yeah.
We've said the exact same thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's all going in the bin, whatever doesn't get eaten. Should I turn this off then, Damon? Yeah?
I can cook it if you want. That's up to you, I don't mind.
Cook them up and leave them out. They'll.
Rick's like, no, it's fine, cook them up. I might have one or two.
Oh, you know me so well.
I really do, Mr. Rick. You've got a heartier appetite than I have, which is saying something.
Yeah, I'm just kind
Oh, this is well classy, look.
Another.
Oh.
Jen, are you sure you don't want some for your tea? They look really appetising.
Well, we've been stuffing our faces and we've all really got that sort of almost like, was it after Christmas sort of falling asleep mode now.
Great.
So, I mean, we've got all this food in front of us. I couldn't touch another morsel right now. So, but I'm trying to save a bit of room for a little bit more of that mince pie later. Right, we're just getting ready to do a bit of sitting down and watching that, which is the projector that we're going to sit down and watch. But we're just doing coffee at the moment, so Damon's got this going. A little coffee pot, and the smell of coffee, oh, it's so nice. I'm just going to have a little bit more mince pie. Right, Damon's clearing up now. We had the projector stacked on some chairs there, and it was playing on that wall over there. We've just been watching Bohemian Rhapsody, which is it's like the Queen story, the pop group. It's not a pop group. The rock band Queen. It's the story of Queen. It was really good.
Any sort of moniker, have they? From what we've just watched.
Well, I suppose not really. It's sort of all things to all people, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, how can I put it? I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it really was. I was really impressed. And it's not normally, if I like had a stack of films to watch, it's not one I would have chosen, but I'm really glad I saw it because it was so good. It was so well done as well. And
I think that was the third time I saw it, I've seen it.
yeah, 3 times. You haven't seen it before, did you? No. But we were sort of singing along as we watched it. Really, really glad I watched it.
Yeah, you
Really
didn't
good.
sing as much as I thought you were going there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I held back a little bit.
I
You
think
know.
that's
Yeah.
tears.
Is that-
There were a few tears, it's true.
It was quite emotional, yeah. Some of it, we was all a bit like, oof.
Poor Freddie,
Yeah.
we miss you, Freddie.
I'm glad it
Yeah.
finished where it did. If it carried on until the end, I would have been a mess.
Yeah.
I'd have to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were a few, moments. I thought, yes.
I was wiping tears away as well. That's the first time I've seen it.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, and yes, he's already seen it. So anyway, we're gonna have a little bit of hot chocolate now. Now this has been warming up on the little fireplace there. I need somewhere to put it down actually.
Let's move that fan.
But where would you move it to? Because it's hot, isn't it? Oh, you got a tray there. That's good. Brilliant. I'll put that on there. Just heat that up. It's probably almost boiling anyway. Oh, it is. Look at that. It's boiling straight away.
Wow.
So that was boiling on the wood burner. Jane playing Moss on virtual reality.
I can see your feet. I know what you're doing. Oh, wow, the gate's doing something cool. Oh, how did it do that?
She's controlling
Am I gonna walk into
this
something?
little mouse
Close to the green screen.
that's running around. It's quite a cool little game actually. The graphics are lovely on it.
Right, I've got that.
We're just enjoying some Belgian hot chocolate. It's really nice. It's kind of you know that Cadbury's Crunchy, like that golden honeycomb stuff. It's that flavour with Belgian chocolate, and it's really nice. So probably quite fattening, but that's sort of.
About that this weekend.
I was going to say that's sort of all gone out the window this weekend. We have just been constantly grazing on the worst possible foods. So hopefully I'll be fine next week.
Trying to walk through the game.
Try to do some sensible stuff, start eating properly again. So.
Okay, what are we doing? There's a scroll.
Nice. Actually, it's a little bit too sweet, to be honest.
There.
Mm.
I think you need to go ahead. Oh, I just smashed some pots. You little monkey.
Well, good morning. It's another cold one, but it's not as cold as it was yesterday morning. It was quite chilly last night, but I had a little Chinese diesel heater working in there beautifully last night and warmed everything up nicely.
Damon, I love that light. It's awesome. It's really good.
We're just getting ready to pack up and go home. It's about 9:30 in the morning. I know Jane's wanting to get away quite quickly because she's got a long journey. She's going to go back to Cornwall, and I think it's about a 4-hour drive. So Janie will be going off first, and then me and Damon will probably head off a bit later. We're going to have a slow, leisurely clear up. Now the plan is, or the whole thinking behind this weekend was I was going to have just a total blowout as far as food goes, just kind of go crazy, eat whatever I want. And then once this weekend's out of the way, start to be a bit more sensible again. But the problem is there's loads of food left over. So I'm going to have to find ways of distributing this to others. I think I'll give some to my family, maybe even drop some off at the food bank on the way home. We'll see. But yes, anyway, this lot's got to go. I must admit the the new coffee machine, really handy. I might actually do a separate video on this. I bought this to replace the AeroPress. Now the AeroPress is a great coffee maker, especially if you're out and about in the camper. The the problem, or the thing that put me off the AeroPress, was it takes so long to make a cup of coffee, basically because you're grinding your own beans. Now you can buy pre-ground beans, but I've kind of got it in my head that if you're going to have a proper fresh cup of coffee, you need freshly ground beans. So it kind of, if I wanted a cup of coffee, it was quite a ordeal to make it. So one of the reasons I got this was because it was nice and quick. You literally just pop a little one of these little things in, which are pre-ground. So it's kind of yeah, there's a bit of irony there, although they are completely sealed. So I'm assuming that, you know, that's good. But yeah, you just pop those in there, drop a bit of water in the top, and the coffee comes out, and it's just been so much quicker. But yes, it's been a really fun weekend actually. Really enjoyed it. Great to see Janie and Damon again, and we sort of I think we're planning a trip to Janies' farm at some point next year as well. That'd be really great. So we'll have to head on down to Cornwall. But for now, we're going to have a leisurely little clear up and clean up and sort of sort ourselves out. So I'm going to sign off here, I think, and hopefully I'll make another video at some point soon. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
them.
We're doing Polaroids.
Oh yeah, Damon's Polaroids. Oh, you've done one.
It's so cold, it's taking hours to develop. They're cool, aren't they?
Your little collection of Polaroids from your little adventures. Oh, that's brilliant. With Rocco.
That's cute.
Yeah, we've all done one now.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I expect to see those up on the wall next time.
That's lovely.
Have fun.
Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Who brought him?